meditation is not some kind of tranquilizing or getting into a trance. It's not at all. That's not what meditation means. Meditation brings the highest level of intelligence. For example, even when one study, no matter how much you study, how much we are able to use the human brain or human intelligence, human intelligence. Today, scientists say we only use 10%. Most human beings use 10% of their intelligence. 90% is dormant. Same thing when you study, no matter how much you study, yes, you will deepen your knowledge and understanding. But to understand comprehensively, totally, you cannot do by dualistic mind. You have to go, in order to understand completely about mind, you need meditation. In order to realize non-dual, only meditation is the way. You cannot comprehend by just simply by study alone there. So the intelligence of study is first stage. Like when we go to school and college and university, you hear from this teacher and professor, and then it's not that you learn everything right away. Then you come and you do homework, you do a lot of study, and then you reflect and you introspect. So you gain a different, higher level of, perspective about what you hear from the school, in the school and the university. Then when you have a deeper knowledge within your mind, then when you actually practice that, then you have like another level of confidence and intelligence. Same thing in the practice of study and meditation. First you hear about meditation, then you do like analytical meditation. After you do analytical meditation, then you get directly to the mind and awareness. So there are different level how you go deeper and deeper within yourself. And so therefore, all Dharma practitioner, even you don't have to debate and such thing like that, but you should study and reflect and introspect and then meditate. Then finally, the point is not for you to become Buddhist. Buddha never gave the teaching to somebody to become Buddhist. That's not the point. In fact, the word Buddha means awaken. Buddha gave the teaching to be awakened. You see, it's not like a club. When you become Buddhist, you're not becoming a club member with the silver class or gold class or platinum class. It's nothing to do with like that. It is really a question of awakening. That's what the practice of meditation and all practice of Buddha Dharma is towards that direction. So it's not a worldly teaching. It's not a samsaric teaching. It's a teaching about how to further gain deeper to an awakening state of mind. That's really the aim, and the result to achieve that is what is about the Buddha Dharma. So therefore, earlier I was explaining, when you do meditation, it's not about tranquilizing your mind or reducing your anger or like that. That's part of it. It will happen when you do meditation. That will naturally happen. Pressing, reduction, deduction. Really, that's not the point. In fact, it's like comprehensively totality of awakening. That's the point of meditation. That's the point of meditation. It's not like you make yourself, part of your brain, you put some kind of electronic whatever, so you reduce certain emotion and then sparkle something more, invigorate certain other emotion. It's not really that play. It's the play of total awakening. That's what meditation is. So therefore, you must know this thing. When you do Dharma, it's about really your awakening. and how to go step by step by step, stages by stages. That's why you need to understand. Then, when you hear the Dharma and how you implement the Dharma, like the teaching of Four Noble Truth, then teaching of Four Immeasurables, immeasurable kindness, immeasurable compassion, immeasurable rejoice, immeasurable equanimity. Then how you implement the six paramita practice, the generosity, the ethics, the patience, the diligence, the samadhi or the concentration, and then finally the wisdom. You know, all those things, how you bring into your life to practice that, and then the result will be awakening. All those things. So when you really look and study each one of these, there's nothing cultural influence. You know, deep inside, you have to look at the essence of the teaching. Kindness has nothing to do with any culture. Yes, we can be kind person, but essence of the kindness goes beyond culture. Essence of the compassion goes beyond culture. Compassion didn't say you should practice compassion to one particular group of people and not to the others. Then it is like culture. It has nothing to do. All sentient beings, as long as they're sentient, mind, feeling, sensation, those who feel happy and sad, those all beings are object of compassion. So it's really the essence of compassion is beyond culture. Then they rejoice, you know, not to fall into affliction, but rather come out of affliction and have noble mind. And that leads you out of ego and out of that petty thought of jealousy. uh, and that's again takes you out of culture, out of culture and tradition. Any tradition of bad thing, tradition can be many things. A tradition of some bad ideas, passing on to from one to other, or cultures, whatever. So all these things, and then of course equanimity. It didn't say that you should practice to some group and not practice to others. All being how to, you know, train your mind skillfully. Seeing equanimity means all are same. There's a Tibetan proverb, just like look at your own body as an example, treat others like how you feel about yourself. Like you don't want pain, others don't want pain. It's the same thing. You want happiness, others want happiness, the same thing. So, like how to bring about, since we live in a culture, we all live in a certain level of culture in our mind. The culture of your family, the culture of your local town or local village or city or township or cityship, whatever. People are influenced by habits and culture. So, but we need to rise above culture when we practice Dharma. We need to bring the qualities of the four immeasurable, and we need to bring the qualities of six paramita. And then we should remain in our meditation. How is our awareness? Really, it's about that. You're not going to, already you have your background of Christian culture, or you're born as a Jewish culture or Hindu culture or Shami, whatever. Now you add another culture called Buddhism. That's not the point. You see, point is to how to really transcend from all this thing that ethnically we have been attached to now, because all this attachment has created, more division and more problems. And now, why be missing the true nature? The true thing is every being has enlightened essence, enlightened nature, three qualities of enlightened: compassion, you know, the strength in that compassion and the wisdom. So, uh, uh, really, to try to understand the Dharma properly is very important. Otherwise, people can fall into trap of cultures. In fact, I tell Dharma practitioner, don't try to wear like Tibetan dress. Because I see some Western Dharma student wearing like Tibetan dress, and then they act like that is Dharma has nothing to do with. In fact, when the Dharma first came from India, they were what? Then all Tibetans should be wearing Indian dress, and then that's a big problem. Then that has never been the case. Now, when the Dharma comes to the West, keep your own dress. If you like to wear Tibetan dress just for fun, go ahead. There's no problem. We're in a free country. But to link the Dharma as another cultural thing, then there is problem. So we should really understand how to separate the Dharma, which came from the Tibet, has certain, there are always some little aspect of, some culture or tradition here and there. But really one is to define Buddha Dharma has nothing to do with its culture and tradition, but it's truly a teaching of transcendental, transcending samsara quality. It's not samsaric teaching. It's a transcending samsaric teaching. That we need to understand. Then now, for example, now what Buddha Dharma teaches us. So what Buddha Dharma teaches us is, first of all, it teaches us how to be a better human being. That's how you start spiritual practice. If you have to go deeper into spiritual practice, you have to learn how to be a genuine, compassionate, kind, a better human being. If I use just one word, better human being, or, a kind person, a compassionate, that's the first steps toward Dharma. And for that, traditionally, how that is done, in someone who enters a Dharma, the person is given, person is asked, person is recommended, person is recommended by the teacher, by the spiritual sangha, uh, uh, to take one of the uh, seven ethical vows. One of the seven ethical vows. So what that means, like in one human being, uh, uh, first is called Genyin vows. Ge means virtues. Now remember the virtues. Think each word very carefully in the Dharma. Virtue is nothing to do with it. Again, the problem is a lot of came with the being attached to a culture. So when you become virtue, it's nothing to do with culture. That includes sexism, that includes racism, that includes any other thing, of cultural thing. You can't practice genuine virtue if you are extreme to any side, if you fall into extreme. So that yin means to bring about the virtue. So if you want to get into deeper spiritual practice, you're recommended to take up one of the seven vows. Uh, the first is called the layman vows. The second is called the monastic vows, where there's novice monastic vows. And the third is full monastic vows. All these are on the level of Hinayana teaching, the very first teaching Buddha gave. How a person can transcend from the cyclic existence, one is to first take one of these vows. So then the vow is, then the beautiful thing of this vow, the choice is yours. Nobody's pushing you to take it or not to take it. You're just your choice to do it or not. But the importance, you should know what is the benefit of doing and what is the benefit of not doing. So then it's become very clear that it's become very clear to us that uh, why that discipline of I don't remember the Sanskrit word. The Tibetan word is Genyin, as I just told you, which means Gewa means virtue, Nyin means to approach virtue or practice virtue, to bring in a virtue. Uh, you see, we have our ignorant mind uh, And with all our ignorant mind, with all of our afflictions and habits, we become pretty frivolous, right? We become frivolous. Now that we don't keep much ethics, and because we could not keep much ethics, we couldn't respect others, and then many problems and bad things happens. And due to that, when many bad things happens, many negative influence arises, then that affects us. It brings suffering to oneself. Right? It brings suffering to oneself. All afflictions and careless about affliction, not reining your, like if you have a wild horse, if you don't rein the wild horse, it will go wild and you will be thrown out of the horse and you may break your head and leg. Like that is happening to us. Our mind is like under the influence of ignorance and affliction. It's going crazy. And there is no way of aware, you're not aware of it, that is out of control. So in order to rein it, you need that, horse, I think it's called rein in English. I'm sorry, I don't know all the words. But you need to kind of like, in order to control the horse, you need that rope or rein, and then you can stop it. Likewise, you need a discipline of or the one or two or three or four layman vows. So what are those? So for example, when one takes a vow, you take a vow saying, okay, I'm not going to kill. I'm not going to kill. That's one vow. So when you take a vow of not killing, then that becomes basis for you to grow up. Versus you have no basis at all. You need some kind of measurement. Like, when you come to your home, you enter your door, and then that's your protection, that's your security. Without that, you're outside in the street and someone can mug you, or there'll be rain and you have no protection on your roof. We need like a protection and security, a safe place. The safe place for you to grow, one needs one of the, four layman vows. So whether you take, I'm not going to kill, and I'm not going to lie, and then third is, I'm not going to steal, and fourth is no sexual misconduct or whatever. So, all these four principle one, it's not, no one forcing you to take it, but you realize if I don't start some kind of discipline in my mind, then I will go haywire, I will go crazy. So therefore, you decide to take one or two or three or four is your choice. And at the same time, not to take is also your choice. But then we also know when we haven't taken any discipline, unless you are really like a natural, highly developed in your compassion, then you will not, bring harm to yours, first to others and finally to yourself. Then there's no problem. But if that's not the case, you seems to be you're slipping out of your world of sanity into world of insanity. Then it's good to take one of those disciplines. You see, that's the reason. So like you can start with one thing. You don't have to start with everything at one time. You can say, okay, I'm not going to kill. I'm not going to lie. One of those things which you feel you can first, that you can afford to do it. You can do it, you know. Afford is probably not the right English word, but sorry, my vocabulary is limited. So I can only think about that. Maybe there's a better word for that, you know. So I will just do take one of these discipline, and then I will start with that. Then that already become a very powerful instrument uh, in your mind. That will lead to sanity, many sanity. Then you begin to have naturally your ethics and your respect, of course, to yourself. to not just to others, but when you have the sanity, you have respect for others and yourself at the same time. Then from that you develop compassion. And from compassion, then you develop wisdom. Step by step by step. It influences everything you do in your life. So that's how traditionally it's done like that. Now you see, this it has nothing to do with culture. It has to do with the one person's mind, how to lead that mind out of that cycle of existence, cycle of ignorance, and cycle of affliction, how to lead you out. Because ignorance and the afflictions are the cause of your suffering. In this life, in future life, forever, as long as you remain in ignorance, you're always doomed to some kind of suffering. There's no question of that. And no one can take care of your mind, only you can take care of your mind. And we have seen, great compassionate being, enlightenment. Buddha came. I'm sure they in other teachings, like Jesus Christ, to a lot of compassionate teaching. They cannot do nothing. Nothing. If they can do, everyone will be enlightened today out of this samsara. There's nothing. Everyone is just left here because you need to do. And when you do, you can see through your own practice of meditation and through your discipline how much changes you can do. You see, so we have to be realistic. We cannot just live in fantasy world. A lot of people on the spiritual path sometimes live in fantasy world. It's not going to happen that way. So then, so that is the first stage in the Dharma, to have a discipline. Now, in order to take that kind of vow, one is to go to a abbot like that. But if not, you can just take it next to a shrine. You know, uh, in Tibet, people sometimes, those who are smoking, they come next to the Lama and they say, Rinpoche, I'm going to take a vow from you. I'm not going to smoke. Or some say, I'm not going to drink. I said, very good. So one time I know this person, who took a vow from me. He's not going to smoke. And then one day he got drunk and then his pipe was there. Smoking pipe. So, of course, he tried for some time and then he failed. But then if one cannot keep the vow, one can always give back the vow. One can give back the vow. In that, again, your mind is not frivolous. Then you again have the level of, the whole point is how to protect their mind. How to, find the shelter of sanity within your mind. That's very important. So therefore, ethical ground is very, very important. As I said, you can practice one kind or two kind or three kind or four kind. Anything to start with has influence in all other aspects of your life. So I think you should keep in mind, even if you even if you don't take it from an abbot, you can take by yourself, next to a shrine. And I will not harm beings, for example, or things like that. It's very powerful in your life. Then next time when you come into contact with some kind of situation, you will stop it from not doing it. And that leads you to like a whole cycle. In fact, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, you may be doing that. You have sleep, and that sleep may be the next time when you wake up could be after 35 years. It could be very dangerous. It could be the whole life may be going. So we need to abandon all the obscurations and then practice what one can, you know. Don't expect everything to be perfect. Do the best. In Dharma, there is no one is condemned. That you have not done properly, now you're condemned. As long as you do anything good, and it's great. Because it's yourself who will get the reward. So, and the other Dharma Sanghas, Dharma practitioner, should be supportive to that. Even he or she fails with time to time, and then again they will revive back from time to time. So it's okay, but it's important we need to do that. So that's one step I thought to share with you today about this thing, uh, ethical practice. Because without that, your meditation will not improve. Also, your meditation is a lot of your emotional support at the beginning. If you've been going crazy, shooting people here and there, and then come and sit and meditate, it's not going to work that well. You will have a lot of struggle, on the Zafu wouldn't be that easy. So therefore, you need what we call all this positive conduct are called merit, because they all support you. Uh, so something like that. So now then let's go to meditation. Now when you meditate, meditation is, as I said, Buddhist meditation is not just some kind of tranquilizer, or how I can be a cool guy, and and then I can impress some other people. Look how cool guy I am. I appears nice, and so people will like me, or I will gain something out of that. Then again, that's not really the objective. Your meditation motivation is wrong, and your meditation, in fact, will not go profound. It'll be shallow meditation. It may be a little bit better, but it won't work. It won't work at all that way. So when you do meditation, the most profound meditation is to first of all set up your motivation correct. Motivation should be, I'm doing meditation to awaken, to be free of ignorance, and to be free of all affliction. Like myself, all other beings, those who are trapped and confused, I like to, when I find awakening mind, then I would benefit all this being, lead them out of the samsaric suffering. That should be the main motivation when you do meditation. First is the compassion should go. Once that mind is set forward, then you won't face obstacle. Because sometimes we don't know about obstacle. People think, okay, I just sit, practice. When you do anything virtue, there are a lot of obstacles. All kinds of unnecessary things stirs up, because there are a lot of negative forces who comes with that ignorance. They don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to go above. So then they create crazy mental obscuration, such, oh, I don't want to meditate. Maybe I should go and watch a TV, or maybe I should go talk to someone. Maybe I should go and take a walk, or maybe I should, and then when you try to sit, all kinds of unnecessary stir up sometimes certain people can have. That's lack of merit. Due to lack of merit, that can happen. That's the reason why previous practice of ethical and discipline help us to reduce those obscurations and obstacles. So therefore, when you bring compassion now in meditation, before you do meditation, when you bring the heart of compassion, that I'm doing this for all being, then there are lots of invisible being, negative beings too. Those who are trying to harm you, trying to create crazy obscurations in your mind. They also see that your success is also uh, their success, because you're going to help all of them, including them. So then they don't create obstacle also. And furthermore, when you bring all being, when you include all being, then your compassion, ego already kind of like dissemble, and it reaches out to the larger space and all being. So then your practice become much more profound and without obstacle, inner obstacle, outer obstacle, inner obstacle, secret obstacle begin to dissolve. And then your mind is in calm and clear, because you're doing just like I see my conflict and confusion. all beings like me are going through. I'm going to do the practice, achieve enlightenment, awaken mind, and then I can benefit all beings. So in that way, all beings' environment is invested in your sanity. Versus if you are unenlightened, you will create a lot of insanity, and they also become affected. Your environment will become affected wherever you are, including plants and flowers. Someone with more compassion will treat everything with more respect. Someone with less compassion will disrespect everything. So everything is become part of you. How you are affects everyone. So therefore, the mind of compassion before you do meditation become very important. So once you did that, now once you generate the compassion towards all being, then uh, it will be either you can take a refuge, or you don't have to take a refuge. That's up to you. Those who know naturally taking a refuge is more powerful, because what is Buddha, what is Dharma, what is Sangha, those who know the meaning of the triple gem, then it's more powerful. But those who don't know the meaning of triple, then just generate compassion. Like I see my mind confused, like I see my influence, and I'm bonded by this affliction. I like to free this mind and free others, those who are like me. I like to free them. For that, I'm doing meditation. That's good enough. Then you sit. Then when you sit, now you should think on the zafutan or meditation seat. Zafu is Japanese word for meditation cushion. So on the cushion is my body. In my body is my mind. And then mind, you just drop it now, relax. Normally we go to chattering you here and there, and we get into everyone's business, including the business of our chattering mind, fantasy, imagination, this. And we try to poke out our mind to everything, like none of our business, we get in everything business. So now you drop the mind. You just drop your mind, and then you sit with the right posture of sitting meditation. Your neck not looking up or not bending down, just straight, and your body totally relaxed. Best is in a lotus posture. If not, if you're in a chair, you can sit on the chair. Put your hand on both your hands on each knees, or you can put one on top of each other, or just on the knees. And then now just go to the breathing. So when you go to the breathing in the meditation, the important thing is to be with the breath, being aware of the breath. Of course, if you're dead, there will be no awareness. You're not dead, you're still awakened, and you're not unconscious either. If you're unconscious, you can't do meditation. So you're not unconscious, you're conscious, and you're here and now, and then you're breathing. But naturally, your mind is with the breath. When the breathing goes out, breathing comes in, you're just with the breath. Then, of course, some thoughts will arise. And there is nothing wrong with the thoughts to arise. It will be something about your past or something about the future. Uh, And then when that arises, you just simply recognize your thought. And you should say, oh, here arises my conceptualization. Or I'm labeling this, saying there's door, there's window, this, that, which is my mental labeling. Just see that as a mental labeling, whatever is arising, past thought, future thought, whatever is happening now. And then again go back to the breath. That's it. Go back to the breath. Be with the breath, you know. And then there are some mistake of meditation. Mistake of meditation is either you feel drowsy, you feel sleepy. That's no good, because that will, you know, destroy your meditation. Or your mind too excited, Too many thoughts arising like a rushing water, like a river or waterfall. Too many thoughts, and you can't control. Don't worry about that either. So when the drowsiness happen, you should kind of straight up your body and wake up. Because if you fall asleep, your meditation is lost. And you don't want to do that. So therefore, then you open your eyes and then open the windows. If your main pattern is falling asleep many times during your meditation, day after days and weeks and whatever, then you need to uh, change that. Then you need to change it by wearing more lighter clothes, eating lighter foods. And if your mind is too much excitement, too many thoughts arising, wear darker clothes. I think that's why in the Japanese tradition, Zen tradition, they wear dark clothes, is to bring their minds settling more. And then eating a little bit more heavier food, like soup and something, and that will all help to bring the mind more settling. So these are the behavioral pattern, how to bring the mind to balance. So then you sit, so be with the breath. That's it. Until you finish your meditation, your main focus should be the breath. And of course, sometimes you may get lost. When you get lost, no need to feel guilt feeling. Oh, now this is bad. You know, I'm lost. I have a bad meditation. I'm bad. I can't do this. Those are all, again, mental gossip. Gossip is gossip. There's nothing good about it. It's just a neurotic pattern of thinking. So don't allow yourself to become a prey of your neurotic pattern of thinking, gossip. There's nothing special about that. To say I feel so guilty, this is so, feeling guilty is a great thing. That is stupidity. There's nothing great about allowing yourself to get more guilty. Yes, sometimes, it can help. So if you have a road rage or you do something, hit someone, then you feel guilty. Okay, now I'm not going to do that. That's okay. But then you just like feeling guilty and guilty and guilty and guilty and thinking that's so special. There's nothing special about that. In fact, that's neurotic mind. So when you have your thought gone, you know, then you recognize it. Mindfulness, that's called mindfulness. Mindfulness will recognize, oh, I got distracted. Then you go back to the breathing again. So when you keep doing like that, keep doing, then your meditation will deepen, and then all those thoughts will dissolve. Thoughts came from your mind, and it will dissolve in your mind. Like clouds came from the sky, and clouds dissolve in the sky. Waves come from the ocean, and the waves goes back into the ocean. Likewise. So no matter what kind of thoughts are there, good thought, bad thought, any kinds of thought. In meditation, you don't distinguish, oh, I should have a good thought, and this is a bad thought. That's meditation goes deeper into mind than projection of mind. Or let me put it this way, meditation state and post-meditation state. Like when you're not meditating, when you go out in the world and when you deal with things, you need to have certain level of, how to connect with people, trying to, when you feel an aggression, then you try to think of positive thing, basically how you cannot be fall prey towards that negative mindset, that you can be out of that. So you try to bring all kinds of your knowledge and ideas into the world. That's one thing. But when you do meditation, all thoughts should be treated equal. Then you're going deeper to the structure of the mind. Then at that time, you don't say, oh, this is a good thought, I should embrace it. This is a bad thought, I should abandon. Then you are trapped in hope and fear, duality. You will never be free from duality then. duality is far deeper. Then at that time, you need to cut both of them. Whether it's good thought, is just like the waves of the ocean. You know, in the ocean, if there's like a 5 inches of wave versus 10 stories of wave, makes no difference to the ocean itself. Ocean itself makes no difference. They arises and they go back to the ocean. Makes no difference. So right now you cannot, pretend to be like that. You have to be realistic. And so way to get there is no matter what the thoughts are arising, simply recognize and go back to the breathing. That's the point. Go back to the breath. And don't try to take credit. Okay, now I did that. Now where is my reward? I should feel so open. That is a trap again. Hope comes there, right? Even you can see through your meditation the whole world system in a glance, no big deal. And if you don't gain immediate some kind of, you don't gain some kind of, oh, I didn't feel anything. Again, no need to worry, because they're both conceptual, and all kinds of mental um, play and tricks and all kinds of things will be there. So therefore, just be with the breath. And then you will notice the benefit of meditation: more joy, more openness, more kinder, more positive quality. And finally, it leads to the wisdom of enlightenment. That's how meditation is, step by step, like that. Okay? So let's do a meditation now. Okay. So continue your meditation, uh, even in post-meditation state. Meditation, is very, very deep meditation, because what it deep means, the depth of your mind. There's nothing deep outside. It's basically it's your own mind. You can see how much afflictions and habits you have, gross habits. Then a little bit further back, like more middle level of habits. Then further level, subtle level of habits. All those have become obscuration. They are defilements of gross afflictions and defilement of subtle affliction. And then finally, the very subtle affliction is this sense of grasping, I, meanness, this, we have a notion of like me, I, like a unitary, like one unitary. Uh, there's no such thing as one unitary. It's all we know. The phenomenal experience is due to interdependence. You can't have any phenomenal experience without interdependence. But we feel like there's a unitary experience, one kind of experience, me one. There's my door, there's my window, there's my house. It's like oneness. But when you really look into your body, into your mind, your emotion, your thoughts, none of them are like by itself. So that's what it meant by no intrinsic existence, no inherent quality. They're all due to many factors comes together. That's what is called karma, conditions. Then due to that, one have certain particular experience, joy, pain, suffering, high, low, this, that, all due to many things comes together. And then when you look further deeper to the very nature of many things, then external object can come to the atom, and then internally is the mind level. When you look at the external objective, which the basis of all objectives atom, then when you look at the fundamental atom, what they're trying to discover, God particle of Higgs boson particle, they couldn't find anything. They say it's a probability, it's energy. It's just like probability means interdependent. They never say there's one unitary independent particle. There's no such thing. Even the scientists today, they check everything, spend billions and billions of dollars in Switzerland, in CERN, under the ground. They say it's a possibility. There's no such thing as inherent atom, but atoms are probability, means many direction. And many directions mean there is no one, because each direction is based on another direction. Without other direction, there is no direction. So the nature of all phenomena is interdependent. And what that leads directly, interdependence means devoid of independence. Devoid of independence is called emptiness. That's what Buddhism means, emptiness. Now, because is not independent, because is interdependent, therefore, because is emptiness, because, yeah, so let me put it this way. Because is not independent, therefore is make emptiness. Because is emptiness, therefore is possible. Anything is, therefore is interdependent. Interdependent comes, mother of interdependent is emptiness. And essence of interdependent is emptiness. Emptiness, like two-faced, one coin, two-faced. One is emptiness, one is interdependent. Now, if it's independent, one unitary, then there can never be interdependence. So therefore, the notion of eternalism, one unitary, is a wrong view from the Buddhist perspective. Nihilism is also wrong view. Eternalism is also wrong view. Interdependent essence is empty. Because it's empty, therefore it's dependent. Because it's dependent, therefore it's empty. If it's empty, if it's independent, There will be no interdependence. Now, you and I live in a world of interdependent, not in a world of independent. Your emotions are interdependent. Your houses and the whole world system functions, move things because it's interdependent. If it's independent, nothing can move. So when the even scientists today, when they finally went to look the nature of reality, nature of objective reality, which is uh, atom, they found probability. They were so excited like a few years ago. They said, oh, we found Higgs boson atom. Now, finally, and then when I really look, I thought it's not possible to find something independent. And then one day I read, it's called probability. They found probability. Yes, it's true. It has to be probability, therefore it's emptiness. If there's nothingness, we're not talking Buddhism, you see, it's said, those who do not understand emptiness, they can be destroyed. Means those who see emptiness as nihilism, nothingness, that can be destroyed. That's wrong. That's not what Buddhism is talking about. But we have to define the two sides. One side is emptiness, one side is interdependent. If it's interdependent, it's naturally emptiness. If it's emptiness, therefore it's interdependent. You see, so therefore, all these things you need to think deeper, and then the point of your meditation is to realize this essence that there is no such thing as inherent self. The point is, the important point of study is there's no such thing as inherent self. There's no such thing as inherent anger. There's no such thing as inherent desire. There's no such thing as inherent jealousy. All these many factors comes together, then it seems to create that phenomena called jealousy. And it seems to create the phenomena, the rest of the phenomena which comes out of that particular emotion and affliction. And that's why we are trapped. We are trapped in a phenomenon we call, I'm trapped in this phenomena. We don't say I'm trapped in one. And we also say it takes two to tango. It never says that one to tango. So it's interdependent phenomena. Interdependence shows inherent quality. Ultimate reality is transcended from one, transcended from any extreme quality. Any extreme, falling into any extreme is wrong view. So anyway, so thank you all. So continue your meditation. Continue your meditation like what I meant is when you're outside, when you're outside, bring meditation. Sometimes when you get very angry, bring the meditation on the spot, meditation to action. Just don't run away from that. Just look at its nature. Just go to the breathing. First, those who are doing shamatha meditation, you just go to the breathing meditation and just be with that. And then you may find something deeper, from that particular experience, you may find something very uplifting. Sometimes we need to run away. Sometimes we need to be with it and see through that. So meditation is to seeing through that, if you can handle that. Okay, any questions? Any questions? No questions? Okay, then please keep your awareness, okay? Keeping your awareness means that you're with yourself, otherwise you're not with yourself. Okay, very good then. Everyone, good night. Have a wonderful evening, and let's do a dedication in the world in general and in this nation. May not even the names, disease, famine, war, and suffering be heard. May virtues, qualities, and merit and prosperity greatly increase, and may continuous good fortune and sublime well-being perfectly rise. In the world in general and in this nation, may not even the names, disease, famine, war, and suffering be heard. May virtues, qualities, and merit and prosperity greatly increase, and may continuous good fortune and sublime well-being perfectly rise. In the world in general and in this nation, may not even the names, disease, famine, and war and suffering be heard. May virtues, qualities, and merit and prosperity increase, and may continuous good fortune and sublime well-being perfectly rise. By this merit may all beings gain omniscience, thus defeat the neurosis,
and negative actions, which are
negative
the
actions, which
enemies.
are the enemies.
Enemies from the turbulent waves of
Waves of
birth,
birth, old
old
age,
age,
sickness,
sickness,
and
and
death.
death, from the ocean of
You know,
cyclic
sucks.
existence.
May
May
all
all
beings be
beings be
liberated.
liberated.
Yeah, thank
Celebrate.
you. So you should know, make great aspiration. You know, anything before you embark on a trip or project, you have made up your mind. Same thing, bodhisattva aspiration. You are all in the bodhisattva path. You need to make aspiration that, such as like, His Holiness Dalai Lama make aspiration, you know, I dedicate my body, speech, and mind for the benefit of all beings. Like whoever, there are many sutra teaching explain about aspiration. It says those who need a bridge may become a bridge. Those who need water may become water. So basically, the aspiration of Manjushri, aspiration of our Lokeshwara, Bodhisattva of compassion, you should follow. Likewise, the Buddhists and Bodhisattvas have make aspiration for the enlightenment and happiness of all being. May I also make like that. And on top of that, today we go through a time of pandemic, lot of problem, lot of suffering. And so you should make wherever I am, may that place be free of sickness. Wherever I am, may that place become like prosperity, happiness, rain, all the joyful thing that may able to produce until not a single sentient being is not out of this cyclic existence. May I come again and again and benefit being. Those are really the bodhisattva aspiration. And if you do that, it will become. Otherwise, you know, I mean, if you look at the history from a negative side, like during Second World War, like Hitler, and then Stalin, there was so much suffering. We have the same potential to bring suffering like that if we don't handle our ego. We can become like that. So we should make very important aspiration where you want to go from here onwards. So every day make, after your practice of meditation and your practice, make really genuine aspiration, because that's will what finally materialize into that. You will materialize into that. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Okay.
I'd like to make an announcement about Brendan's teachings next weekend, if that's okay.
Yes, yes.
So Brendan Kennedy is coming. Well, actually, he was coming to Denver to teach. These teachings will now be virtual on Zoom. You can register for the teachings from the website, and we'll send you the links to join us next weekend. Brendan will lead Thursday night meditation next week, and then teach on Friday night, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. Let us know if you
Yes.
have any questions.
So right now, we have teaching program with Chris Monson. She's teaching in Longchenpa's resting on the mind. Very, very important and high teaching by the great master Longchenpa. And she's a wonderful teacher, and really who spent many years in Asia. She did a study, she did a practice, meditate in the mountains. She a student of Chhoje Rinpoche, and so therefore highly knowledgeable. So it can bring you lots of benefit through those teaching. And then Brendan Kennedy, who is like an amazing meditation master now. He spent many, many years in California. He lives in Southern California. Like every day, he was before meditating like 6 hours a day, and then he probably even more, and for years and years. So these people can really help you tremendously in your spiritual practice. I try to bring good group of teachers to help you all. So therefore, you take classes, you study, reflect, as I said, how to do the Dharma practice, then finally, really to become awakened, removing our obscuration. Traditional teaching is called obscuration, defilements, all those afflictions and habits and ignorance, how to gradually remove that out of our mind. And then something very pristine is there in your mind. And that's not far away, that's right in your heart. Actually, it's right there. If you can see that. But it's like a wheel, like
Now.
if somebody puts a wheel, they can't see through, or your curtain in your window, you can't see through. But the moment you lift the curtain, there you are. You can see everything. It's like that. Mind obscuration is like that. It doesn't come with some kind of, foggy things from outside. It's just the mind simply not seeing that. And so for that, one needs the bodhicitta mind practice and meditation practice. In order to enhance, deepen, you need the knowledge. That's where the teaching comes. Okay? Thank you all. Okay. Good night.
Chhoje.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Hi, Rinpoche.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Namaste, Rinpoche.
Okay, thank you.
Love
Have
you.
a wonderful evening.